Okay, today we're taking a look at Cadman, the Fighting Coward. Now, this is a wonderful volume here put out by Commando Comics, run by DC Thompson. It's volume 1 here on the spine, so I'm very optimistic we're going to get some more. Now, I really like Cadman. He's one of my favorite characters. He's kind of like the Flash Man, the Victorian scoundrel, coward, liar, cheat, except here this is not set in the Victorian era like Flashman, but rather set in World War One. And what this volume has is it's got some reprints of some older comics as well as 2 newer comics here. And the new comics just look absolutely wonderful. Art is by Mike Dory, one of the guys who'd done the art, back in the 70s and 80s. And because Cadman was initially a Victor comic, also run by DC Thompson, but not under the Commando. And what I like recently is Commando has been taking some of these older comic characters from some of their other defunct titles and writing new stories under the Commando banner for them. Now, as you can see here, these initial stories, there's 2 initial stories. Art's done by Mike Dory on both, and they're both written by Andrew Knighton. And these are reprints of some recent Commando comics. And you can see the art's absolutely blown up because this is the size of a standard Commando comic, and this is how big they've blown it up. So the art's beautiful. It's oversized and it's wonderful. Now, the one issue I kind of have is the plotting is good, but I feel like Knighton has not gotten the voice of Cadman just right. So he's supposed to be a coward, he's supposed to be a liar, he's supposed to be a cheat, and that's where a lot of the humor comes from. However, he's got him a little too mean, he's got a little too much malice. And the older stories, some of these other reprints here that are just beautiful, there it shines a little bit more, the stories, because he doesn't have that angry malice that it seems like Knighton has him doing. So you can see the art style very similar. I think the stuff was done by Mike Dory back in the 70s and 80s. It's just amazing that he's still doing it. There's a little bit of write up here on Dory, and so just beautiful. So these reprints are just wonderful, and stories are great. Cadman always seems to come out well in front of his superiors just by pure luck, right? So here he's being blackmailed by a German agent over some debts, and he just fortuitously is able to, have him killed and recover that. And his commanding officers all think he's this wonderful guy for sussing out a German spy. And just wonderful stories, really clever humor, and the art, again, is just wonderful. It is a little bit constrained, so these reprints of some of these older stories, I think, would actually have been larger in the initial printing. I know, some of these I think were from, the old Victor annuals, and would definitely have been a little bit bigger. And so it just does seem shrunk down. So while the other art is wonderfully enlarged, here it's just shrunk down a little bit. It's not so bad, but I think some people, maybe we're not with the best eyesight, maybe that might be an issue. But still absolutely wonderful stories. This is fantastic. I really like what Commando has been doing here in republishing some of these older stories, both in new Commando stories as well as just old stories. So here you can see of the volume about the majority of it is a new stories, but this is definitely solid reprints as well. I hope they keep making some new stories on Cadman. I hope they're able to just back off, put the brakes on a little bit on just how malicious he is. He is a liar. He is a coward. He's a cheat. He's all those things, but he's not angry and malicious about it typically. You know, he's able to do it with a smile, and it's suave that way. So, anyway, till next time, I highly recommend picking this up, especially if you like World War One, if you've read any of Flashman and not familiar with Cadman, completely worth checking out. Till next time.